You feel this nervousness on the phone there?
Sir, I've been trying to make an urgent phone call up there.
Well, I don't think it's something I want to do on an overseas phone.
You gotta make some phone calls. Hang up the phone. Prank caller.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome once again to Packernet After Dark. This is the call-in show, the Packernet Podcast Network. If you'd like to call in, if you'd like to participate in the show, please feel free to do so. The phone number here is 608-501-0718. New callers go directly to the front of the line. So we're going to do something different today. Because of the breaking news, I'm thinking, hey, I got to do a breaking news podcast. And I thought, you know what, let's just do the breaking news in lieu of this Packernet After Dark. I may add some calls at the end. I don't really know. We'll just see how this goes. But that is the plan. I just saw the news come across the wire here that Zach Tom has signed a 4-year, $88 million extension. ESPN reporting on this via Rob Demovsky. Sources, Packers, right tackle Zach Tom reaches 4-year, $88 million extension. A month ago, Zach Tom did not want to discuss whether he would insist on a new contract with the Packers before the start of the season. He doesn't have to entertain that possibility anymore. The fourth-year right tackle agreed to a 4-year, $88 million contract extension on Monday, sources told ESPN. The deal also includes a $30.2 million signing bonus that is believed to be the largest ever for an offensive lineman. That is a large... We're not talking... When I first saw that, I was like, wow, that's really low in guarantees. $30 million. That's the signing bonus. It's not super unusual for the Packers to load up heavy for a signing bonus, but I mean, what is that? That's 30%? About 30% in the form of a signing bonus up front. Maybe the Packers are, first of all, the Packers are Packersing, but I also wonder if the Packers are so snake bit by everybody just falling off the second they get a big contract that they're like, all right, look, dude, I'm going to give you this big contract, okay? Here's the deal. You go out and bust your legs and your knees and your elbows and your frickin' vomer. That's the nose, I believe. I don't know why that popped into my head. I was trying to think anatomy and physiology that I took a long time ago. Like, I think vomer is like your bone, your nose bone. You bust your vomer, and we're getting out of this contract. We're not screwing with you. I don't know. Pretty wild. Washington Commanders' Laramie Tunsil and former Packers tackle David Bakhtiari received the previous highest signing bonus for offensive linemen at $30 million in their extensions. Let's see. Scrolling a little bit down, Tom took part in the offseason work. Can I just say, by the way, I had been estimating that this would get done a little bit later. I think it is cool that they got this done prior to everybody showing up, prior to training camp and all that stuff. Get people in here on the right note. You know, let's get some positive vibes going. Let's get the boys in, get them paid, get them fired up. You know, let's have Zach Tom come in, everybody celebrates for him, you know, as opposed to having this thing lingering. Now, we still have the Elton Jenkins thing to figure out, which, again, PackersGames.com, go ahead and we're running out of time, but we got to poll up, I think it's before the 22nd, on the 22nd, after the 22nd, or won't get signed is another option. But I am happy that they got this done. I've been saying for a while, we really need this. Seems like a lot of these contracts have been lingering and have not gone well, and we've always been very proud of our ability to do contracts. If the Packers do anything well, it's paying their guys. And again, they've had some weird contracts, but I said Zach Tom is an easy one. Elton is weird. Jair was weird. All these things are weird. Zach Tom is about as straightforward as it gets. You need to be able to get it done. They get it done. It looks like at a great price. Again, this is relatively new to me, but I would have thought it was more than this. Also have to look at the actual real dollar contracts over at PackersGames.com to kind of gauge it, but that's only going to make it go down. The reality is this is less than a $22 million per year contract. Zach Tom says, I don't think it really do any good to sit out and trying not to worry about the contract situation. I'm just trying to do what's best for the team. Being here with you guys, I think that's worth a lot more than the contract situation will take care of itself. So I'm just here working and grinding with my guys. If I wasn't here, I'd probably be somewhere just not doing anything. I don't know. So yeah, I want to be here, obviously. All right, fair enough. It's like, I mean, I could be here, or I could be at home eating friggin' nachos. So, you know, this seemed smarter. Last season, Tom finished third in the All-Pro voting among right tackles behind Penei Sewell and Lane Johnson, which is fantastic company to be in. I think he can play any position, says Matt LaFleur, so it happened to be that he kind of find a home at right tackle, but I think his versatility... You know what would really suck, too? Is if we find out that his number is actually lower because they're considering Morgan and Belton at the tackle positions. I'm sorry, that just popped into my head. I know it's a stupid thought. 0.001% chance that happens. It just flew into my head, and it just had to, because the last time somebody got a really low contract like this, where I was really pleasantly pleased at how low it was Elton Jenkins, who had just played right tackle, and then they moved him to guard, and I'm like, oh, well, that's actually kind of a high, or, you know, it's a much higher guard number than a tackle number. I thought it was a great number when I thought he was a tackle. So that's why that popped into my head. 4th round pick in 2022, which, again, amazing. I remember when we drafted Zach Tom and just getting so excited, but it was just kind of a goofy thing where it was like, it's kind of my guy. You know, I like Zach Tom. I didn't think for any amount of time that this guy was going to actually become a really, really good right tackle in the league. And it's guys like Zach Tom that get me excited about guys like, you know, whoever, your 3rd round, 4th round, 5th round, 6th round pick from this year, where you look at it and go, I mean, they might contribute a little bit. They might be Pro Bowlers. And I can say that confidently because of guys like Zach Tom. Now, granted, it's usually offensive linemen, you know, Bakhtiari, Zach Tom, whatever. But not always, especially when it comes to the 4th round. The Packers will hit on anything in the 4th round. They will just knock everything out of the park. If things don't work with Jordan Love, we should wait till the 4th round to draft a quarterback. I think that's about it for this article. Let me just poke around and see what other people are kind of discovering at this point. I got AI working on it, but it's so new. Some of this might be fake, so I'm not going to read that. Although it's only $4 million. It says a maximum value is $92 million, which would include $4 million in incentives. They might have some Pro Bowl stuff in there or something, or that could be fake. I don't know. Tell you what, though, this is beyond exciting as I scroll here. Former Colorado wide receiver Will Shepard is signing with the Packers per sources. So there's that as well. I don't know. Maybe we'll look into that. Might save that for... I already recorded tomorrow's podcast, but the heck was I going to say? Oh, I mean, it's Monday. This is like the week that the season started. We haven't had any news, nothing, and boom, right on Monday, you think, well, we still got a couple days. Nope. Packers coming through in the clutch, man. Starting Monday, everything's starting for real. We got real Green Bay Packers news. By the way, Benjamin Albright quote tweeted this, so it was Jordan Schultz first with the Colorado news from Will Shepard. Benjamin Albright said, probably the most underrated of CU wide receivers last year, had a heck of a pro day. So, again, we'll get into that. What? Drew Olson. This is hilarious. Again, I'm just getting caught up on the news here. Drew Olson, official Twitter account for The Game Milwaukee Radio. So he tweeted this. It says, what soon-to-be former intern wrote the headline for the Packers transaction for Yahoo Sports? It says, report, Packers give anonymous offensive tackle $88 million deal with biggest offensive line bonus ever. So this is pretty fantastic. It looks like in 2025, because this is his rookie contract, so you got to remember, he only had 1 year left, but it's a very low number. His cap hit for this year was $3.532 million. So what does that mean? If it's a 4-year extension, that means it's a 5-year contract. So you're taking those 4 years and you're actually spreading it over 5 years. You just have to add in this $3 million. So it's 88. So it'd be 91 divided by 5, roughly. 18.2 million. That's crazy. Let me just get the officials' numbers over here before I go tweeting this out. Let me go to my little PackersGames.com salary cap tool. So it's $18.3064168 million over 5 years. That average salary, and again, he's not going to be paid the average in year one, but just to give you an idea of what the worst hit would be at 18 million, this year would be 6.56 million. Over the course of the contract, it accounts for 5.65% of the contract. of the Packers salary cap. If we look at, so I compared the other big three: Tristan Wirfs, Penei Sewell, Lane Johnson. We've done this before when I went over the potential, how much these guys could get, or when I looked at how much I thought Zach Tom might be getting. I thought it would be in and around Penei Sewell. Now, again, the numbers are weird because Sewell still had 2 years left on his contract, so it would end up looking a little bit different, but that, I think, as a percentage is kind of the range I was looking at, maybe a little bit less. However, as I said before, everybody thinks Penei Sewell broke the bank or whatever. He got this massive contract. Tristan Wirfs has by far the biggest contract. He's averaging $26.72 million over 6 years. The salary cap hit on average over those years is $8.62 million. 8.62. Penei Sewell, again, the metric, I don't know that anybody uses this metric that I do, but it's the one that makes the most sense. You could almost call it a pain gauge, how much this contract is going to hurt us over the length of the contract. So Tristan Wirfs, over the course of the contract, on average, 8.62. Penei Sewell, 7.46. Lane Johnson, 6.65. And remember, Lane Johnson got this contract in 2025 at the age of 35 years old. This is the most insane contract in the world, by the way. $100 million. And it is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 years, but 6 of them are void years. It's the dumbest contract. It looks like it was actually a 1-year extension, but it must have just come with all these void years. Absolute insanity. The total of it, though, is $100 million over 3 years, which is the actual contract is 3 years before you hit the void years. He got $100 million over 3 years, and he's 35 years old, which is 6.65%. Zach Tom, 5.65. So 8.62, 7.46, 6.65, and 5.65. In fact, let's see how far down the list I have to go before I find somebody that has a similar contract. So the next one is Jawan Taylor, Michael Onwenu, Titus Howard. And some of these guys may have signed a while ago. And so they were actually massive contracts at the time. Yeah, so here's Jawan Taylor. Okay, he signed his contract at 26 years old, 2023, $20 million a year on average. So already, again, that's not the extension he got. That's the actual contract. So in 2023, Jawan Taylor got 20. Zach Tom just signed for 18. 7.63% of the cap is what Jawan Taylor got. Because remember, the older the contract, the lesser money is going to account for a higher percentage. This one's really low, although it's still going to be higher. It's $19 million per year, and he signed it in 2024, and it's only 3 years, which increases the pain. Yeah, as much as it seems relatively small, this contract with, where is he? Michael Onwenu, 6.85%. It's way more than Zach Tom. I mean, it's up in the Lane Johnson range. Titus Howard's contract was for $17.25 million over 4 years, but he signed it in 2023, so his is 6.58%. Still well above Zach Tom. I mean, this is kind of an unprecedented deal. I'm trying to find anybody. Brian O'Neill with the Vikings. That's only about $16 million, but that was signed in 2021, and that accounted for 6.77%. I mean, that's kind of the range there. 6.5, 6.8, 6.7. Penei Sewell, obviously got the little bit of a bump up to 7. Tristan Wirfs is up to 8. Those are unprecedented in that range. Everybody else, though, Lane Taylor, Onwenu, Titus Howard, Brian O'Neill, they're all 6.5. Zach Tom, 5.5. I'm not going to keep going because I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to keep doing all the math. But yeah, I don't. This is wild. This is wild how low this contract is. This is not starter right tackle money, like just flat out. It's just not. And so, funny enough, if you wanted to know like what his contract should have been, we'll just do the reverse here because I have the ability on the calculator to add in the cap percentage. So if we take the 6.85%, he should be at, and again, the extension was $22 million. The contract should have averaged $22 million. That would be 6.85. So the if we do this in reverse, it should have been, let's see, 112.2 would be the total. Let's subtract the $3 million or so, so 109 divided by the 4 years. It should have been about $27 million, which I think is what I said, because that's about what Penei Sewell was, isn't it? Something like that. I can't exactly remember, but $27 million is around what I was expecting. 4 years, $27 million extension would be the baseline. If he were to get what most of the right tackles get, we're talking Lane Johnson, Jawan Taylor, Michael Onwenu, Titus Howard, Brian O'Neill, if he got around that number, it should have been a 4-year, $27 million, $27 million per year, 4-year 109, $27.3 million per year. That would have been like, boom, that's the number, go get it. 22? Huh? I don't even know how to, I don't know how to, this is beyond a home run. And, I know, for example, Packers Superfan had asked a question about, should we give him this massive contract? Where does he rank actually? And I never got around to actually ranking him and trying to come up with some kind of a metric. Again, part of the problem is most positions outside of quarterback don't have a ton of metrics, especially offensive line. Even if you are he is not a top 10 tackle guy, I promise you he got nowhere near top 10 tackle money. So everybody can relax and just be happy with this. And if anybody says overpaid, you have no idea what you're talking about. So whether you like Brian Gutekunst or not, whether you like Russ Ball or not, obviously some things you're more excited about than others. On the list of home runs, this goes near the top. Assuming he's, unlike everybody else, able to stay healthy and continue playing at the level he's at, I'm not even asking for anything better. If he can just stay healthy and play out this contract, this is beyond a home run. If he was being paid $22 million this year, that would be okay. If he had any individual year making $22 million, that would be okay. The fact that that's the average, this thing is never going to, he is in a great position right now that even when this backloaded contract toward the end, when the time comes for it, they're not going to be in any rush. Like there's never a point where this is going to be, unless it's just severely backloaded, but which it might be. They might do that again so that they can look at it for being, 2 years-ish, and then after that, if you're broke down or something, we're getting out of this contract. The point is, this is a contract that not only is great overall, but a lot of contracts you look at and go, oh man, you look 3-4 years out. I know it's going to be okay when the time comes, but that looks painful. I don't know that that's going to happen with this. This should be a very smooth thing. It should be set up very nicely to be able to play out the contract for as long as they decide to play out the contract. It shouldn't be like by year 3, they're going to have to make a decision. That shouldn't be a thing. And hopefully, when it comes time to give him that third contract, he gets that third contract too. Jason here commenting on this says, I just don't get paying an undersized, out-of-position player that type of money. Another mistake by Goody. What do you mean that type of money? What do you think this is, 1997? I think at least half of negative Packer fans are just people with an IQ of 17. That is a trait of having a low IQ is high aggression. I think that's all it is. They're angry because their brain doesn't work. That's the best I can come up with some of the nonsense that I'm seeing on social media about this. This is the easiest golf clap for the GM and Russ Ball that I have ever seen. This is stupid. So, anyways, I am going to leave it at that. Breaking news of the day, that will again take place of Packernet After Dark. So, I apologize to those of you waiting for your calls to get played, but it is what it is, man. Talk to y'all tomorrow. Have a good one. Bye-bye.
Wake Forest to Wisconsin, 4th round was his call. that he'd rise or fall.